Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Sunday Stock Watch, series I post on Sundays where I let you guys know what stocks I'm personally keeping an eye on going into the trading week. All right, so nothing new here today, guys. We're once again going to be talking Bitcoin and biotech related stocks because how could we not? These sectors absolutely crushed it last week, and I'm confident that they'll perform this week as well. And I continue to be more bullish personally on these two sectors over any other sectors in the market right now. So this is what I like to talk about, and we're going to talk about it, okay? I hope you guys feel the same way. I know a lot of you guys are excited about these sectors too. So hopefully you guys are excited about this one. I'm stoked. Let's get into it. As always, we'll go over each topic that we're going to be discussing, and we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, you guys know the drill, Trading View, where we will take a look at Bitcoin today. We're kicking it off with BTC, king of crypto right here. And BTC is actually looking pretty good along with the rest of the crypto sector. So we're actually just going to be touching on Bitcoin today on the charts. ETH, XRP, Link, some of the altcoin plays are actually looking very promising technically. Shout out to the newsletter group. I will send out some charts and analyses on those guys tomorrow morning. But I will save those in terms of a video for a crypto convo probably in a couple days or something. But very exciting times. Always a good sign when we are seeing green across the board on the weekends. Usually means good things for some of our Bitcoin related stocks like Riot and MRNA. So as you guys know, many plays in the sector. We've talked about many plays in this crypto-related sector in the past. Today, we're just going to be focusing on my Riot and MRNA, two Bitcoin miners, two of my personal favorite plays in the entire portfolio. Many of you guys know that. And then in terms of biotech, we will just be focusing on Moderna and Sorrento on the charts too, okay? Again, a lot of great plays in the sector. We're just going to be focusing on those four today on the charts. In terms of news, though, got one Bitcoin article, one Moderna article. So this first one is titled, Why Institutions Suddenly Give a Damn About Bitcoin. We've been talking about this a lot, guys, and it will remain as one of my primary catalysts in my mind as to what really validates and what will really ignite this 2021 Bitcoin bull run is institutional interest. The guys, the whales, the market movers, those with a lot of money, the capital, the real capital coming into the market, understanding the fundamental value of Bitcoin and understanding why it's important and why it's relevant in today's world in 2020, in a world where trillions of dollars are being printed, and what it can do from an appreciation perspective to any large portfolio, okay? So we will go over this. This is very cool. At the very bottom, there's actually a really cool chart right here that I want to go over with you guys. You got Hive Blockchain, you got Riot. I'm not sure. I don't think Marathon Patent Group is in here. You got Hut, Square, but some other publicly traded companies, Square, obviously MicroStrategy, the big guys, who hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets. And that's very cool too. We'll look at that after we read this article. But great article. And again, it just furthers our fundamental bullish nature for Bitcoin. For Moderna, this is a short one, but very sweet. Moderna's groundbreaking coronavirus vaccine was designed in just 2 days. That's crazy, guys. And as we close out, I'm recording this on Saturday, so technically closing out Thanksgiving week. It's just so cool. Just to kick it off with this, just from a almost thought piece perspective, it's so cool how quickly this came together. And it really speaks to human ingenuity and what can be done when you have the proper resources. Like Operation Warp Speed, Operation Warp Speed, I should say, fed Moderna the capital they needed to get this done, and they got it done. And they're in the lead, and it's looking very good for Moderna. And it's just super, it's some silver lining to this. It really highlights again, human ingenuity and the ability to come together and create something great that's never been created in this span of time in such a compressed time window. Okay, so very cool there. Just wanted to say that. We will go over this too, a few bullet points, very short, but I just thought it was cool and I wanted to share it with you guys. But of course, we will spend some time on Moderna and Sorrento on the charts. That's all there. Before we get into it, as always, I'll ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today, or if you're invested in any of the stocks we're talking about. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, want to catch more content like this, and of course, join the newsletter fam if you're down. Complete breakdown, entire portfolio that I do update every trading day. Along with every update, I'd also send out an email newsletter explaining my thoughts. This is all during market hours, real-time thoughts from myself if you don't want to wait for a video later. You also have a direct line of email access to me to ask me any courteous questions, not super long questions, you guys. Please be courteous with those. But you have a direct line of access to me to ask me any direct questions you want, any specific questions. So if you're interested in that, join the Waves fam, join the newsletter portfolio family. First link in the description once again. If not, no worries at all. Let's get into this. So we'll kick it off with this. Actually, no, we'll kick it off with Bitcoin. We'll kick it off with a little TA on Bitcoin, move into the article, then go Riot, Mara, and then Moderna article, Moderna, Sorrento on the charts. There we go. Okay, so Bitcoin, again, looking nice over the course of the weekend. I want to see here where I wanted to draw this for you guys. I already know this. But from the peak, we saw at about 19,500 on November 25th, 25th, to the drop we saw over the course of just that day. Obviously, this was when things fall, they fall fast in cryptocurrency land. So we're seeing almost a 17% pullback here in Bitcoin, and you see all the you see all the media outlets, you see all the titles, all the headlines reading, is this the second cryptocurrency crash? Is Bitcoin coming down again? It's sparking fears of the 2017 crash, and a 17% crash for Bitcoin. It's not a crash by any means. This is a correction. This is a healthy pullback. And 70% is nothing, you guys. We've seen like 60, 70% in a day at times, okay? So, 70% is obviously significant, like objectively, but if you're playing Bitcoin, you got to get used to this. So, especially in a bull market, we're going to see stuff way crazier than this, you guys. So get that skin ready, get that skin thickened. So again, not bad here. We're really popping back up, completely eliminating the potential of a head and shoulders. So what I was a little worried about here was that you can see the left shoulder, head come down. If we continue to go sideways like this, it'd be very likely that we come down to like the $14,000 region to complete that more medium term head and shoulders. But we broke out. This is just a continuation of mine. Let's get rid of this right. So this is just a continuation. Once again, higher highs, higher lows, and you can see here this low came up pretty perfectly to test this previous high before we saw that a really significant run up in mid-November, and it's just looking like a healthy correction to me, you guys. Like this looks perfectly fine. I'm betting on a continuation here. In terms of short term, what I will be looking at to dictate more medium-term price action is this orange line right here. So you can see Bitcoin use this orange line multiple times. Pretty solid line of support here. Once it broke below that, it really came down crashing. So it shows that this ascending channel was broken. It is no longer in this ascending channel that has been printing since early November. And I think that we're definitely going to be using this line that was once a line of support on that ascending channel as a new line of resistance, which would take us to about like the 18.4 region. Once we get to this line that I believe will act as a line of resistance, we'll probably bounce off this, maybe come down a little bit. But if we can break above this, if we can close a candle, I can say before the end of the month. I mean, I think we'll get above this pretty soon, to be honest. If we can close a 4-hour candle above 18.7, just to play it safe there over the next few days, then I think we're going to hop back in this ascending channel. If, regardless of when we get back in here, if we get back into this ascending channel at some point, I'm very confident that we will come to test the top side of this channel. Say we hit it on December 1st. If we test the top side of this channel on December 1st, that would take us to a $21,000 Bitcoin, and that would be sick. Okay, so let's hope for that. Let's hope we see that. $21,000 Bitcoin would be blasting through previous all-time highs. And once that happens, once we get to new all-time highs, once we break 20K, that's truly when the floodgates open and when I think the retail investor FOMO will start to kick in, okay? So let's see if that goes down, but Bitcoin looking strong right now. Let's take a look at this article quickly, and then we'll move into Riot and Marathon Patent Group, sorry. As big players continue to enter the crypto space, institutions are becoming mega hodlers. Without a doubt, Bitcoin has become an increasingly popular asset to own among institutional investors. By the end of the second quarter of 2020, Fidelity reported in a survey of almost 800 institutional investors that 36% own crypto assets. A separate survey conducted by crypto asset insurance company Evertas shared that respondents believed hedge funds will increase their crypto holdings drastically. It also projected that 90% of institutional holders of crypto assets expect to invest even more in Bitcoin this coming year. So these are, promising metrics, you guys. When you look at this time a year ago, it was nothing like this. I would love to see the year-over-year increase in those percentage gains. That's probably somewhere out there. Not going to spend too much time on that now, but I guarantee you that is significantly higher than it was just 1 year ago. So it just shows this adoption is coming, and once this happens, you really get that exponential effect. Okay, because like Paul Tudor Jones, like BlackRock, these large funds that are giving the green light, that are really like giving the stamp of approval to Bitcoin, makes a lot of these other funds a lot more comfortable and feel a lot less crazy if they want to throw some Bitcoin into their portfolios. Okay, so huge news here. Again, now that it's happening, it's going to happen faster and faster, and it's going to go exponential, in my opinion. From MicroStrategy and Grayscale to JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, Bitcoin has solidified its place in investment portfolios as an asset to hold as a hedge against inflation and currency devaluation. However, beyond that, there are real technical reasons why the institutional investors are becoming more and more bullish on Bitcoin, with some predicting it will reach $1 million by 2025. So again, you guys, $1 million, I think we can see that in a decade. I would say my 5-year price target for Bitcoin is about $500,000, because that would take us a $500,000 Bitcoin. Go watch the Bitcoin is Gold 2.0 video. I posted probably a month or so ago if you haven't already. But I go over why $500,000 is my personal price target for Bitcoin, and that is because I believe it will consume the majority of gold's market cap. Not consume it, but I think Bitcoin will inevitably at some point in time be worth equally as much as gold as a store of value, safe haven asset. Again, in this world that is printing trillions of dollars in fiat currencies, and inflation is going to be a very, very real thing over the course of time. While the future value of Bitcoin may continue to be a topic of debate, the reality is that investors and financial institutions now believe holding BTC might prove to be less risky than not having Bitcoin exposure at all. 100%. In fact, according to a crypto research firm, Messari, more than 81,000 Bitcoin belong to the treasury of publicly traded companies. So again, this is a great little sheet by Messari. Let's see if we can expand this. No, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, you can see here again, MicroStrategy, they own 38,000 Bitcoin, market value in millions, $507 million in Bitcoin. Galaxy Digital, that's Mike Novogratz's company. You got Square owning 4,700 Bitcoin. You got Riot Blockchain right here, our boy owning, or girl, whatever you prefer it be. Riot Blockchain owning just over 1,000 Bitcoin at $14 million. Hive Blockchain owning 211 Bitcoin. So it's just good to see. And again, you guys, this is just the beginning. We are in the very, very early innings of this. And again, now that companies like MicroStrategy, like Square, have Bitcoin on their balance sheets, it's going to become a lot more normalized amongst other small to medium to even large over time publicly traded companies that want Bitcoin on their balance sheet to fight that as an inflation hedge, to fight a devaluing dollar. All right, so that's enough Bitcoin talk. Now let's move on to Riot and Mara. So Riot and Mara, again, on Friday had a pretty rough day. So Riot, from a technical perspective, you can see here Riot is looking pretty solid. You could be a little worried about a head and shoulders playing out here, but I don't think that's going to happen just because Riot perfectly bounced off of this line of perfectly used this line, this purple line right here, as a line of support that was once resistance on this uptrend up. So October, you got a touch point October, like just over the course of October, definitely printing a solid line of resistance. This was creating a little channel here, broke out of this channel, broke back into this channel, has been using this line as kind of a line of support over in this area right here. And yeah, it perfectly used it. It perfectly dropped down to this just on Friday on market close. And I think it's pretty likely, especially given the fact that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, again, you guys, Riot and Mara are showing pretty heavy correlation to altcoins over Bitcoin. So keep that in mind once again. And the fact that altcoins are doing well right now, even better than Bitcoin, it just gives me the impression that we'll probably see a continuation up here. And if that does happen, I think it's very likely that Riot, so you can see here Riot is creating a pretty short-term channel up here. This is a very tight channel, so we'll have to see how this plays out. But again, you guys, I mean, high, low, higher, higher low. I think we're just going to set another higher high, and it would make sense to me to test the line of resistance on this ascending channel right here. That would take us, say we hit it on December 1st once again, that would take us to an $8.85 Riot. And that would be absolutely beautiful. You're looking at what, like a 30%, 25-30% climb up there. That's awesome. I would be so stoked to see that. Again, you guys, I'm not sure if this is going to happen. We could. Let's hope we don't see a head and shoulders play out, because that is possible too. We're going to have to see how Monday goes. I just will say that, again, given the fact that the cryptocurrency market is doing very well over the weekend, it would surprise me to not see Riot continue this move up, pop back into this ascending channel, and again, test the upside of this, test the top side of this ascending channel. So money's on that. Let's hope we see it. But of course, we will just have to wait and see. Mara, Marathon Blockchain, again, Marathon Blockchain. Renaming this thing. Okay, so Mara looks a little Mara does not look as good from a technical perspective, and it's actually very likely to me that we do see Mara. So you can see here Mara closed right on this. I mean, man, it sucks because Mara broke below here. I would think that Mara is probably going to come down to like the 350 region and test this area that it went to before it popped off. Let's hope we don't see that. Let's hope that this hype, that some of the FOMO just kind of overrides the technicals, because the technicals look really bad right now, to be completely honest. So yeah, and it's back below this ascending channel again. It's back in this original ascending channel. It kind of just, this really just wiped off a lot of the gains it had and a lot of the bullish momentum that it had. So that's a bummer. Again, Mara, just objectively in my eyes right now, does not look good technically, but again, hopefully some of that hype takes over. I trust it. I definitely don't discount that as a possibility. Hopefully a lot of the hype takes over. A lot of people think I mean, obviously if Riot does well, Riot and Mara are highly correlated. So if Riot does well, it's likely that Mara is going to do well as well. It's guilty by association in a good way, of course. So we'll see if that happens. Let's hope that we can just use this as a like high, low, higher high. Let's hope this is a lower low. Let's hope, higher high, higher low. Let's hope we use this successfully as a higher low and then move on to set new all-time highs, set new yearly highs in Mara. And again, long-term price target, or medium to long-term price target for Mara is $10. We'll just call it $10 just to play it safe. But of course, keep you posted on that. We'll just have to see how next week plays out. Definitely keeping a close eye on these though. Let's move on to this real quickly, and then we'll hop into Moderna and Sorrento to close it out. Moderna's coronavirus vaccine candidate is 94.5% effective at protecting people against COVID-19, according to the company. The candidate took under a year to develop that test, which is years faster than previous vaccines. The company designed its vaccine candidate in just 2 days. In contrast, traditional vaccines can take years to design. So again, kind of wrapping back to what I said in the beginning, it's just a feat. It's just so impressive. It's so freaking impressive that they were able to do this. And this is a technology, this mRNA-based vaccine is a technology that hasn't even been validated prior to this. So this just speaks to the future of Moderna. Again, I'm going to say this every time, even though I say it every time. I'm going to keep doing it. Moderna has an entire pipeline of mRNA-based vaccines that haven't yet reached market, haven't reached FDA approval. And now that they've shown this vaccine, this COVID vaccine, and thank God for Moderna as a company, like this is like such a blessing in disguise for Moderna that this happened. Obviously, they've been stressing, they've been working harder than they ever have probably in any of their lives, and that entire team, like props and kudos to that entire team. Like they're doing the Lord's work right there. And it's just crazy to see that, obviously with the correct financial resources, how fast they were able to make this happen. And it also speaks to how freaking powerful this technology is. A technology that, again, this is the first time it's being validated. Pfizer is also using the same technology, and this is the first time they're using it, and they have an entire pipeline of things like this, and they made this highly effective, 94.5% effective vaccine in just a couple days. Like, what? That's crazy. That is crazy. So that only furthers, I mean, that just speaks magnitudes towards my long-term bullishness for Moderna. Like I'm already so, that's why I'm stumbling right now. I'm already so bullish on Moderna long-term, and I say this every video, you guys, so it shouldn't be surprising at this point. But again, you guys, like for a long-term prospect, this is so bullish for Moderna. And they also already have with Lonza, they have that partnership, the manufacturing partnership. So I mean, the whole manufacturing side of it, which is a very hard like aspect of making vaccines, obviously, is already settled in that aspect too. Okay, in that regard too. So Moderna, just so bullish on Moderna fundamentally and technically too. So let's take a look at Moderna. Moderna had, again, a crazy day. We did see a little correction here as we, oh no, what am I talking about? I was like, Moderna didn't correct. We're still on Mara. Moderna did not correct. There we go. So Moderna just going straight up parabolic. Let's see what happens next here. Moderna up 18% on Friday. Absolutely crazy. Hitting a high of about 130 on the dot. And again, you guys, it will be interesting. I'm sorry that this analysis is going to be literally no different at all than Friday. So if you watch Friday's video, I mean, I would recommend just piecing out right now. But I don't know, just talk to you guys about it, let you know what I'm thinking once again. So Moderna, a couple things could happen. One, we either continue ripping. In the case that we continue ripping my price target in the short term, like if we continue a rally next week, I think it's very likely we see $150 Moderna. just because this is a line, this is a trend line I've had drawn so long, and I'm just going to stick to my guns here and trust my instinct. And 150, obviously very solid psychological even as well. So that would make sense to me. If we do continue to rip, come up to 150, bounce down. Once we start a correction, once we start a sharp correction, it's very, very, very likely to me that we use this green line right here, which would take us back to about 115 whenever it chooses to correct. And it's because it's running so hard, I wouldn't be surprised if it corrects hard as well. That's just cycles. If we do see a correction, before moving up more, I do think we'll likely move up more after a correction. But whenever we choose to correct, it might be on Monday. Who knows? I think we'll use this green line because this is the line of resistance on a very, very long-term trend up. On this very, very long-term uptrend. I showed it on Friday. You guys can go watch that if you want, but not going to zoom out now. Just get straight to the point and kind of cut to Sorrento. This green line is a very, very significant line of what was once resistance. Again, gap straight through it was once resistance, is going to now be used as support. That's just TA 101 right there. So whenever we do correct, again, we could rally. If we rally up, maybe 150. If we correct on Monday, we probably see a pullback down to the $115 region, down to this green line, see a new line of support set, and then continue to higher highs. So if we correct, we'll probably bounce off 115. I think after that, we'll likely continue up to the 150 region over the probably prior to the end of the year, to be honest. I think we could easily see $150 Moderna prior to the end of the year. So that's Moderna. Again, of course, you guys keep you posted over the course of the week. Got plenty of stock talks coming, plenty of biotech booms, crypto combos, all that good stuff. Okay, so Sorrento. Again, poor Sorrento. That's a big old correction right there. Yeah, you guys. So here we're pretty much just looking at. So Sorrento actually kind of broke out in two respects, actually. Actually, no, it didn't. Just barely. It just barely made it. So you can see here, Sorrento did in fact break out of this long-term trend that it set. So this very, very long-term downtrend that it has been setting since its highs back in August, that was forever ago, finally broke out of that long-term trend, which is a big deal from a long-term perspective, from a swing perspective. And that's why Sorrento is looking very, very appealing to me right now, personally. But it still is in this little uptrend right here, and it hasn't technically broken out of this short-term uptrend. Okay, so although this was a reversal and it did break out of this long-term uptrend or long-term downtrend, it's still in this short-term uptrend, and it might still be using this line of resistance because it's proven to use this as a line of resistance over the near future. So if we can break above this, so pretty much if Sorrento is even up by a percentage or two on Monday, it will have broken out of this short-term uptrend, broken out of this long-term downtrend, which it already did. But that is a double whammy for some upside gains. So if we can see a green day on for Sorrento on Monday, that leaves me very, very, very bullish on Sorrento short-term. Speaking short-term, mid-term. Still bullish on the long term, of course, but it makes me happy to say that I'm once again short-term bullish on Sorrento from a technical perspective. But yeah, we will have to see if Sorrento opens Monday. Regardless, I think at some point as long as we've broken out of the long-term downtrend, this short-term uptrend is far less of a hurdle and far less of a line of resistance. I think that it's very easy, especially with all the fundamental momentum behind these COVID biotech stocks. We could easily see Sorrento see another run. And again, $27 Sorrento. Don't know when that's going to happen, but 2021, if you guys have strong hands, if you guys just want to hold Sorrento, I think $27 Sorrento, which from here is a solid 4x-ish, almost a 4x. Not quite, I think like 3.5x. Still, if you're like over tripling your money, that's huge. And yeah, I think we could very well see a $27 Sorrento in 2021, just to keep that super broad. All right. We'll call it there, you guys. Please let me know down below which stocks you're most bullish on going into the week. I mean, it's going to be hard to beat last week, you guys. It's going to be really hard to beat last week, but let's see if we can do it again. We're always scaling up, you guys, okay? Always growing, always sharpening those swords, always just expanding, always growing. Once again, it's been a long day, guys. I'm sorry I'm stumbling all over the place. Drop a comment below. I'd love to talk shop with you guys down there, learning from you guys. So I'll catch you downstairs. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. God, take action, make waves. Peace. Sorry about that, guys. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Shoot.